Vanderdecken ran to the cabin door, opened it, and ran up the stairs to the deck. The thunder of lightning striking the sea, the storm growing ever stronger, the waves flooding his ship, barely afloat, and his men perishing dragged by the water, filled his visual field. He ran to the helm area and, pointing to the sky with the silver crucifix, exclaimed, "You cannot stop me. I am the master of the seas, and even the devil himself fears me. Curse you both, you cowards! Both bow to my feet when my vessel crosses the world's oceans. No storm god or demon can stop me." He then threw the cross into the sea, while a mocking laughter escaped from his throat towards that god who would not hinder his journey to Holland and the conquest of the storm. When he directed his gaze to the bottom of the ship, he realized that several dozen of those pirates he carried with him on each mission looked at him with almost reverential fear. Vanderdecken also became aware that the waters had calmed and the winds were diminishing in intensity. Up above, a bright sun began to rise after being hidden for several days. At sea, there was a sense of absolute calm. A jubilation flooded the ship, and Vanderdecken smiled to himself, knowing he was victorious in the battle against a god who was not as powerful as many had told him. The Dutchman and his crew continued their journey to Holland without major incidents. One dawn, as the Dutch ship sailed in complete calm and at good speed towards its home country, they would reach port at dawn, Vanderdecken heard a voice in his dreams. "As a result of your pride, you are condemned to sail the oceans for eternity with a ghostly crew of dead men who will bring misfortune to all who see their spectral ship, which will never reach port or know rest. Furthermore, for you and your men, there will be neither drink nor food." The captain opened his eyes when his second-in-command came to wake him to notify him that, as they had planned, the port of his beloved Holland was in sight. Both went out to witness the joyous news, but the closer they got, the more the port seemed to recede. The ship was traveling at an excellent speed and the sky was completely clear. Vanderdecken saw the port clearly before his eyes, but it whimsically moved away. "It will never reach port or know rest," the words echoed in the mind of the Dutchman, who had defied God and began to feel increasing anguish. Hours passed and the ship failed to reach its destination. When dusk fell and then complete darkness, the men screamed in fear, indignation, and consternation. Some had thrown themselves into the water as a desperate act to reach the port, but perished, drowned, or were rescued in boats. Vanderdecken knew perfectly well that the sentence against him was being fulfilled. Years passed and turned into decades, these into centuries, and then into centuries. Vanderdecken's sailors died slowly, just like their captain, who was baptized by the pirates who crossed paths with his ship as the Flying Dutchman, the man who can never reach port and who wanders the seas of the world in a sad and melancholic manner, with a crew that is now pure spoil and death. They all thirst, hunger, need to touch a woman's body, and feel firm ground under their feet. When a ship encounters this doomed vessel, it only observes it for a few minutes before veering its course and disappearing into the ocean mist.